chickens are tired of kale. They don't even want it anymore because I give them so much kale. This is all the kale. There's probably 7, 8 leaves in here. It's beautiful. I've never had kale like this. Okay, friends, I'm gonna cut my kale for my cold verde. So I pull all the leaves and stack them on top of each other nicely. And then if I have smaller ones, I put them in a center so they can stay there. And then I roll it like a cigar, real tight. And then I start chopping. I took the big stall because it was too fibrous. You don't need that, that's too hard. You just want the green leaf. And then I just go with a knife and try to do as thin as possible for my cold verde. Okay? You don't need special machines for this. And then I keep turning around and keeping that tight into a cigar to do my kale. And some of you say this is collard greens. This is not collard greens. This is Portuguese kale. There's a variety of kales. I know what collard greens are. This is not collard greens. So this is Portuguese kale. So I'm going to chop all this kale and then I'll show you how I do my cold verde. This is how thin you want. See? Real thin. Welcome, friends, to my kitchen. Bem-vindo à minha cozinha. I have a ton of kale. I've showed you guys so many times how much kale I have. And I'm going to make some cold verde for a few people that are kind of under the weather. And I always go to that kind of soup when somebody's under the weather. So I'm going to show you how I make this cold verde. I've made many cold verde, and there's a few videos out there, but there's always somebody coming new, and they all have questions how to make it. So I'm going to show you one more time how I'm going to make this cold verde, and I never make the same way twice. So stay with me. I'm going to put some olive oil in this pot. I have 4 cloves of garlic, 1 small onion. I have potatoes and some celery. I'm using the celery. There was a few stalks that I had. I need to get rid of it. And I'm going to put it in here. So that's why I have it. Sometimes I put carrots. It's not a tradition. Don't come at me telling me that's not the tradition cold verde. I know, but I'm doing as a health reason, as a healthy motive. I'm going to give this to some older people that are under the weather, so I'm going to put as much nutrients I can in this. This is not the traditional cold verde, but it's a healthier way by putting other vegetables. I'm going to cook my potatoes, all these ingredients here. I'm going to put some salt, 2 teaspoons of salt. This is kosher salt, and a little bit of pepper. And I'm going to let this cook in here when I am chopping all the kale and getting all the other ingredients ready. Okay? So let that go. Okay, friends, my potatoes for my cold verde are done. They're all cooked. And I'm going to go with my immersion blender and blend all this. This is very hot, so be very careful when you do this. I'm just going to blend all this until it's completely smooth. That's how easy it is to make cold verde. To use the mill to do this. I have 2 links of chilies that I'm going to add to this. And here it is, all pureed. That's how you want it. Okay? This is a little thick, so I'm going to add a little bit more water. This is however thick or thin you want. I don't want it too thick because we're still going to put a lot of kale. Okay? This is all my kale. And what I do before I put my kale in here, I massage my kale. I'm going to turn my stove back on and let that come to a boil. And what I do is I massage my kale. It makes it easy to cook. It cooks faster, I think. That's me. I don't know. So I just massage it. Keep massaging the kale, and they will cook faster. There's a lot of kale in here, but I like, in Caldo Verde, you need a lot of kale. When this comes to a boil, I'm going to add my kale. But before I do, I'm going to taste for salt, and I'm going to put more olive oil. This is Portuguese olive oil. I have tried other olive oils, doesn't work the same way. So I'm going to taste for salt. So yummy. It needs more salt. At least 2 teaspoons and a half of salt. Okay? My soup is boiling. Now we're going to add all the kale, and I'm going to add it slowly. Okay? Try to drain as much water as possible. And as it falls in there, it will go down. And now we're going to mix this. I'm going to lower the stove. And I'm going to let this cook. That kale to cook. Maybe about 10 minutes. Okay, friends. My soup has been simmering here for about 15 minutes. And now we're going to add the chouriço. When my mom used to make this soup, it was during Lent. She never put chouriço. That's why we always used olive oil and bacon fat, because this was for Lent soup. And she used to add some carrots, some parsnips, and then she would blend all that so it would make more of a rich soup. This is what my mom used to do for Lent, but we're not in Lent, so we're gonna add, I have 2 links of chouriço. And we're gonna put this in here. I'm gonna taste again for salt. And then, and my soup is done. So good. So cover, lower the stove, and in 10 more minutes it'll be done. Here it is, friends, my Caldo Verde. Look at this. Smells so good. Okay, friends, my Caldo Verde is done. And it's lunchtime. I'm going to try it. My bread is still not done. I'll have to have that for later. This smells so good. And it is such a cold day today. Look. Look at this. There's nothing like a cold verde. When I'm kind of under the weather and I'm not feeling my best, I go straight for cold verde. Some is for chicken soup, me is cold verde. So good. I'll leave the recipe in the description. I already have a few videos with cold verde, but like again, I'm gonna say it again. There's people coming in, people are still asking about it, and they have questions. You know, what kind of kale you use? You know, it's kale. It's not collard greens. It's kale. Doesn't matter if it's the curly kale or Portuguese kale. It's kale. And then I have chouriço that I make, but sometimes I don't. I use linguiça. So that's up to you. And my thing that I always say is do not change the Portuguese olive oil, because that's what gives the whole flavor. So anyway, so now I'm going to share with some friends, and that's going to be for dinner. Soup with cornbread. For me, not my husband. So anyway, give it a try to this recipe, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. Share my videos. It's only one button. Just share on your social media so other people get to see my videos, and I get to grow in this channel, and other people get to experience these old recipes that we grew up eating. Until next time, have a good day.